Alright, so I got both things recording, except I can't get my pop filter to fucking stay where it needs to be. Like, what the, do I gotta come from over the top? Oh, did I break that? Fuck, I hate this piece of shit. Hey everybody, welcome back to Willie Mac Plus. This is kind of a channel I've wanted to do something with for a long time, and I've never taken the time to go do it. I just want to shoot the shit. I look at Tom Dark, I see him having all the fun he's having over there, and I just got kind of jealous. I want to do this thing where I can upload a little more frequently on stuff that isn't always a big deal. I just want to be able to goof around, say stuff that I can't make a full Willie Mac show episode out of, and still give my opinion on it. So right now we have this video. It's by a character named Riffenstein. Apparently she's like kind of one of these documentary YouTubers. I think she does stuff kind of similar to like Internet of J, June, where they just kind of like talk about stuff, give like overviews on people's careers and then like an opinion on it. She's a good mix between commentary tea and the documentary people. However, dude, this video she's made called Monetizing Your Fatal Demise, Why YouTube Isn't Removing Nikocado Avocado. Dude, this video is so bad. My problem with a lot of these documentary YouTubers is they present themselves as if they do all this research, but in reality, they have no clue what they're talking about. So it leads to them making these like ridiculous claims that are untrue. Like, this lady thinks Nikocado Avocado is for real. She doesn't think he's a troll. It's insane. All right, let's just get into it.
The noodle king himself, Nikocado Avocado, has been really gaining some traction over the last week.
Yeah, he's fat.
Recently, Nikocado Avocado has been absolutely flooding YouTube due to his recent disability. According to a number of Nick's videos, his weight has actually gotten to the point in which he has broken ribs as a result. He is now bedridden as a result.
No, she thinks he's actually broken ribs. Oh my god, dude, Nikocado's faking it, dummy. It's not real. His ribs aren't actually broken. He was never actually bedridden, and you know that if you just watched his videos. Nikocado Avocado is already just walking around. Here we go. These are the videos. These are the videos where his ribs are hurt. All right. Here's his video the next day. It's like, look at this guy. Do you really think his ribs are broken? Just because Nick says it doesn't mean it's true. He's trolling. He's walking around just fine. This is just zero comprehension of what you're watching. How are you gonna make a documentary on Nikocado Avocado when you clearly haven't watched much Nikocado Avocado?
We'll be discussing Nikocado Avocado and his recent content. Because of this, I will have discussions of eating and humiliation fetishes, eating disorders, mental health disorders, and suicide.
I mean, what the fuck? This is about Nikocado, right? Why does it include all that shit? We got sexual warnings and suicide warnings. I've watched a lot of Nick. I haven't seen any of that.
If you find any of these topics potentially triggering, please proceed with caution or consider clicking off of the video altogether, because at the end of the day, I do not want my content to jeopardize your mental health.
This video is already having a massive impact on my mental health. I'm losing brain cells at a rapid rate.
Quest for views, and this comes at the expense of himself, but also the expense of others.
Did she just show Stephanie So? Oh my god, dude, this fucking bitch. If you haven't seen my Nikocado video on my other channel, I go into depth about how she's just wrong. We're talking about someone who weaponized their past sexual assault trauma against Nick just because he wanted to talk shit on another YouTuber. It wasn't fair to Nick. He didn't deserve that. She was the one in the wrong the whole time. She's not wrong for having trauma. She's not wrong for being triggered. She's wrong for putting that on Nick, though. These videos were slander. These videos were highway robbery.
Quest for views, and this comes at the expense of himself.
No, it absolutely does come at the expense of his health. There is something kind of scary about that. But on the other hand, you see people doing risky stuff all the time, putting their lives in danger. Should they not be allowed to do that? It's part of making sensational content, and I don't think it's wrong. I think at some point he needs to find a balance with it. He needs to find a middle ground that's healthy. But as of right now, I mean, look, I see it. He's gonna try and drive this into the ground. He's gonna get as much money as he can out of it. And then if he's gonna worry about his health later, he could worry about his health later. Point is, it's Nick's decision. Honestly, I respect the hustle. I respect what he's doing.
Personally, I don't believe that the intent of the valid points that Nick brings up in all of his expose videos is in pursuit of what is right. Personally, I think that the intent is views.
Wow, she's a real fucking rocket scientist. Yeah, of course, dude. It's all about views. That's why his views are constantly going up. That's why his subs are constantly going up. Because even though he's getting absolutely bodied and made fun of in all these dramas, people go to hear his side of the story and they think he's funny. He's engaging, so they subscribe. He came out of that critical drama where, yeah, he was getting a lot of shit in his comments. His videos were getting dislike bombed. But damn, his views and subscribers were going through the roof at the time. He's playing everybody because his show is WWE. It's 100% fake. People laugh at Nick for being a fat loser, but nobody's done more winning than him. He's literally playing everybody, you included. This is exactly what he wants.
We have seen the many phases and many faces of Nick over the years, and at one point he announced simply the goodbye to his internet troll character. Sometimes old habits die hard.
Dude, she thinks just because Nick said, I'm done playing a character, that means he's actually done playing a character. Dude, he's not. This is insane. Like, you just gotta watch one video of his, which apparently you have. It looks like you've watched quite a few videos here, and you'll know that his character is still very much alive. I mean, you think this is real. You gotta be the most gullible person on earth if you think this is real.
According to Nick in some of his videos, even though he identifies as skinny, he has eaten himself into such a level of obesity that his ribs have broken.
This lady is so gullible, she probably actually thinks Nick identifies as skinny. He's just selling a t-shirt.
I identify as skinny.
And because of this, he is now bedridden, and he is making quite a few videos with the titles, My Diet as a Disabled Person.
Dude, it's clickbait, you fucking moron. You're talking about a guy who's fake diabetes, kidney failure.
Okay, I thought I had kidney failure. I actually turned out not to.
Okay.
And I thought that I had diabetes. I actually turned out not to, too.
You know all the fake news stuff you see on Twitter and Facebook where it's so obvious it's not real? This lady's the person that falls with it. She's the one person where it's like, we gotta censor the whole fucking internet of fake news. We gotta purge the internet of trolling just because she's too gullible.
And for me personally, I think it's quite obvious how someone like Nick could be potentially dangerous with such a substantial platform when he chooses to be. If he chooses to not be dangerous, then we're fine.
What is dangerous? What does she mean by dangerous? Does she just mean eating food? Is that what dangerous means? When Nick scarfs that fucking burger down his throat? Is it the equivalent to juggling knives? I mean, what are we counting here? It's dangerous to his cholesterol. Yeah, I agree.
It's not like we didn't know, so why hasn't YouTube stepped in?
How does YouTube step in exactly? Do they weigh you? Do they check your body fat percentage? I don't know why people think Google should be responsible for its users' physical and mental health. It's such a liability.
Nick's content is potentially breaking 3 of YouTube's community guidelines, being nudity and sexual content.
What? Nudity and sexual content? How is she gonna make this argument? Is it because he sits in a bed? Even if he was completely naked and his dick was out, I'm pretty sure his gut would cover it. It'd be censored either way.
Nudity and sexual content, suicide and self-injury.
Suicide and self-injury. It's because he's fat. I mean, right? Is there no other reason besides he's fucking fat? I mean, what is he doing? These people call me fat phobic because I make a fat joke. At the end of the day, I'm just making a goof. I'm not serious about it. I don't really hate Nick if he's fat or not. I'm just making a joke. These people are calling Nick being fat suicide. I mean, that's insanity. Oh, dude, it's crazy. This is some T-channel vibes here. This is the same arguments used against Eugene Cooney. They're just used on the fat side. When I brought up the hypocrisy with Nikocado and Eugene Cooney, I didn't mean for people to try and ban him too.
And finally, harmful and dangerous content, because under that falls eating disorder.
Harmful and dangerous. Again, that's just eating food. That's just him eating the food. So she wants to cancel mukbangs. She wants to cancel fat people, and she wants to cancel mukbangs. Good. Let's hear these arguments. This video took a complete nosedive. I'm very excited.
Let's start with nudity and sexual content policies. According to YouTube's community guidelines, you cannot post pornography or depicting sexual acts, genitals, or fetishes for the purpose of sexual gratification on any surface.
How is she? What? How is that Nick's content at all, dude? What the fuck? That's insanity. What is she on about? Is Nick's content that at all? I mean, that's insane. I cannot fucking believe it. I about fell out of my fucking chair with that. Pornography or depicting sexual acts, genitals, or fetishes for the purpose of sexual gratification on any surface. Just because there is a fetish where people eat food does not mean that every time Nick uploads, he's producing fetish content.
I have no concrete evidence to suggest that Nick is intentionally making mukbang content for the purposes of sexual gratification.
Yeah, you don't have concrete evidence, but you don't have any evidence at all. It's just him eating food. Could some weirdo be jacking off to it? Yeah, probably. Does it make it porn then, just because some weirdo jacks off to it? No, then we'd have to get rid of anything. If you look up Rule 34 and you look up shopping carts, yeah, look at this. You know somebody's wanked to this.
Feeding and humiliation fetishes are pretty self-explanatory from what I've been able to research.
What does she mean by research? Yeah, she's just watching feeder porn. Some dude's taking the ass as he's shoving a cake down his throat. I'm really glad you admitted that.
Humiliation fetish, to be put very simply, is someone is humiliated and then sexual gratification is either gained through the humiliation or observing the humiliation.
Honestly, this video right now is kind of tickling my humiliation fetish. This is one of the most embarrassing videos I've ever watched. I get so turned on when people just make awful fucking videos. It just gets me all riled up.
Why is YouTube not doing anything? From what I can tell from my understanding, it's as simple as, where do we draw the line? At what point does YouTube say that is too much food, that is too much food being made in a video, that is too much food being eaten in a video, that is too often that this channel is posting videos where they are making and eating food? And also, how do you even regulate humiliation? At what point do you say that is too embarrassing?
This video right now is too embarrassing. I already get mad at the strikes YouTube gives me because they're already vague enough. Can you imagine YouTube giving you a strike and just being like, too much food, goodbye, fucking you're gone? Like, I'd be like, what, dude, you're kicking me off YouTube because there's too much food? Who the fuck are you to tell me there's too much food?
Under the harmful acts policy, YouTube specifies eating disorders, content that praises, glorifies, or encourages viewers to imitate anorexia or other eating disorder. The eating disorder that the internet has collaboratively attributed to Nikocado Avocado and essentially just diagnosed him with is binge eating disorder.
Is all mukbangs feeding a binge eating disorder, so should mukbangs be banned? I'd hate to see that kind of content go away. It's very popular, it's fun to watch, and frankly, I don't think it's up to YouTube to check on people's mental health. He has a disclaimer right in his description saying, the information provided in this video is for entertainment purposes only. Information on this YouTube channel should not be considered a substitute for advice from qualified dietitian or a healthcare professional. Any statements made throughout this video regarding specific dietary or nutritional information are not to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Please consult with a physician or other healthcare professional regarding your specific needs. I don't think he's promoting the eating disorder. He's not saying eat like me unless he's fucking joking. I think you can make this case a lot better than you could for Eugenia, but I also don't think it's YouTube's call. I think it's above their pay grade. The unfortunate reality is that you can't force somebody to get better. That's up to the individual person, not some company.
I cannot diagnose anyone with binge eating disorder. But is the eating habits that Nick frames and highlights in his videos disordered? Yes. Therefore abnormal and disturbed? Yes. Are they affecting his health? Yes. Is he at times glorifying this eating? Yes.
What does she mean by he's glorifying it? Frankly, I think this shit's meant to be embarrassing. It's like a car crash you can't look away from. That's his brand. Not glorifying. He's not some hero eating a hamburger. How do you interpret it this way? Much like Belle Aubrey before her, she never explains it.
He could frame the food differently. He could make the food differently, and he could change his schedule quite easily.
Nick, just stop doing what's making you so successful. Just stop making money. You could do it all differently. It's bitch, how about you do your shit differently? This video's trash.
He could make his eating on his channel less abnormal and less disturbed, but he hasn't, and I can only assume that for whatever reason, it's because he doesn't want to.
Wow, she figured it out, boys, because he doesn't want to. Dude, she's so smart. You got your PhD?
At what point does YouTube regulate how much food is too much? By putting in their policies this outline of how much food is too much.
No more than 2 Big Macs. You get 2 Big Macs a video. If you go above that, you're banned. Get out of here. For ramen noodles, you get 1.5 bowls. You get 2 ramen cups. That's it. If you eat more than that, you're banned. Dude, I don't know. The internet's going through such like a censored phase where people get banned for just about everything. It's like the worst version of Skynet. It's like Skynet, but everyone's like put into like a pen. And they aren't allowed to have any fun. We all got safety gear on. Nobody could hit each other. We just got to sit still. We just got to sit in chairs or eyeballs strapped open and talk about the weather. I think the really disturbed and weird people on the internet, the people who aren't perfect, the ones that are willing to put themselves out there crying, acting over the top, fighting with people, I think those are some of the most interesting channels. Why would I want to be on an internet where everyone's the same as me, where people have the same exact worldview as me? The internet's a great place because your beliefs get challenged constantly. Like, I would never ask for this lady to get banned because she is a gold mine of content. If all of her videos are just like that, I'm very excited to talk about her more in the future.
Nikocado Avocado is monetizing his own fatal demise, so why is YouTube not stepping in? Great question. Once again, I think it comes down to, at what point does YouTube say this is the line in the sand?
You're too fat. Should YouTube weigh him every week? What do you want? She just keeps posing the same question over and over again. Why is YouTube not stepping in? Why is YouTube not stepping in? Probably for the same reason that you can't give an answer. Where do you draw that line? Does YouTube have them weigh in every week? Is it YouTube's job as a social media platform to make sure everyone's eating healthy? That they're not eating too much? I mean, hell no. It's not illegal for him to be fat. It's not illegal for him to eat food. So why should YouTube need to step in? And she can't even give the answer. That's what's so frustrating about this video.
At what point does YouTube say you're too fat and you're too skinny? Especially.
Can you imagine YouTube sending out a message? You know what? You're too fat. You need to lose like 12 pounds. That would be so funny. You're too skinny. You know, you need to gain a little bit of weight. I can't even picture that. I think everyone should be able to upload to YouTube no matter what their health situation is. It shouldn't matter if you're sick. It shouldn't matter if you're disabled. Ultimately, the only person who could fix Nick is Nick. So logically, nobody else can step in for him. You know, I get that people care. I get that they want to see him healthier. So do I. But it's not my call to make. And it's not yours either. And people need to stay in their lane when it comes to people's mental health.
Especially if Nikocado Avocado does actually follow through on the promises that he is going on a weight loss journey.
Celebrating my 1 pound weight loss is her receipt for his weight loss journey. Oh my god, dude. It's a joke. I can't even imagine being so gullible where I see a video titled celebrating my 1 pound weight loss and him shooting whipped cream down his throat as a commitment that Nick is going to lose weight.
In my personal opinion, I think that YouTube can deplatform Nick. In my personal opinion, I think that they should, because whether it's intentional or not, his content can be harmful, and whether it's intentional or not, his content has broken community guidelines. More than once. More than 3 times. And as YouTube goes, 3 strikes, you're out.
His content hasn't broken community guidelines. You think it does. You keep saying it does, but it doesn't. She is literally being Belle Aubrey. Just because you keep repeating the same thing doesn't make you right. For fuck's sake, this girl thinks Nick is committing suicide by eating food. It's like, I guess you could view it that way, but I mean, does the company view it that way? Hell no. Does the average person view it that way? Hell no. She's like Belle Aubrey in every sense, except she doesn't talk about his underwear. Thank God for that.
And Nikocado is still pushing this narrative and making an easily accessible, safe place for behavior that is harming, self-injuring, and can cause death. And he has made a step-by-step guide with every video that he posts.
The way she talks, you think that Nick was making videos on arson, like how to make fire bombs or something. His content isn't a guide on how you kill yourself. It's him eating food. I mean, is it just eating the food, like showing you this is how you eat?
Just because hypothetically he isn't that off camera doesn't matter, because he is making an easily accessible, safe place for this behavior and for people that encourage this behavior.
A safe place for eating food? Is that what we're talking about? No, Willie, it's a safe place for eating a lot of food. Shut the fuck up. Miss me with that bullshit. It's so frustrating. It's just hearing an insane person talk and people agree with her.
If I made anti-vax content, it is pretty safe to assume that my audience would share the thoughts and opinions that I put on camera that are harmful and dangerous to the public. If I made that anti-vax content, but in real life was not anti-vax, that doesn't matter, because I, with my content, have still made an easily accessible, safe place for anti-vaxxers.
She just compared Nick to an anti-vaxxer. I mean, I don't care if you want to get the vaccine or not. I'm vaccinated. Does that make me a safe place for anti-vaxxers? Yeah, I mean, I think they should be able to live. I think they should be able to make YouTube videos still.
If your online persona, unless it is very obvious and within reason that it is satirical or parody, if your online persona is damaging and creates damaging content and therefore creates an easily accessible, safe place for people who share this damaging behavior or damaging opinion.
What is parody within reason for you? I mean, Nick fakes everything. I think it's pretty obvious. I think to most of his fans, it's pretty obvious. But for some reason, it counts as a safe space for danger. Why? Because you say so? Well, we gotta run everything by you first? No, she's saying like stuff like the WWE can't exist because the show itself is portrayed as if it's real and harmful stuff happens, even though it's not true, even though it's just a show. Nick's content isn't real. It's largely just a show. When he fights with his husband, that's not real. That's not him promoting abuse to his husband. You know, McJuggernuggets, the Psycho family, you could argue that that's showing an abusive family, that they're profiting off family abuse. None of it's real. It's all fake. It's all staged. Does that mean we got to get rid of him because he's promoting that sort of thing? That's why I really don't like these videos, because you're calling for somebody's livelihood to be put in check. You're potentially taking away their money.
Nikocado Avocado has had a history of toxic manipulative behavior, and as for his credibility with me personally, he has very little.
Trust me, your credibility with me, it's very little too.
This is another one of those videos where the situation that I'm discussing is so so complex.
It's not complex. No, I'll give you your black and white answer right here. You either ban mukbanging or you don't. You either make it wrong for everybody to eat the food or you allow all of it. There's no way YouTube can look at it and be like, you know what, you're too fat to do it, you're too skinny, you have to do it. It's not that complicated. It's pretty black and white. Either you make all mukbanging okay or you make none of it okay.
Genuinely, I hope that there is going to be a constructive resolution to all of the fuckery that is going on this platform, because if nothing happens, I'm afraid that it's just going to get worse, because as creators, we're always trying to outdo our last performance because we are only as good as our last video.
Oh man, if that's true, then you are screwed because this video sucks. Let's read some YouTube comments. Please, God, don't push yourself if you're in pain. Please remember to take breaks and drink plenty of water. Okay, well, trust me, she didn't work that hard on this thing. I wish there's another platform like YouTube, but better regulated. YouTube's absolutely gone to crap. It's sad. I think YouTube's done a pretty decent job of regulating. I mean, what do you regulate more? You regulate the fat people. I mean, that's what this video is, dude. My disability doesn't affect me in the way I suffer from excruciating pain every day. I usually have a positive outlook because of the strong support system surrounding me, but it still affects me as a wheelchair-bound person. So to see him put himself in that situation knowingly and profit from it makes me sick. I hope he improves, but I don't have much hope. He's not actually fucking bound, dude. He's not actually disabled. Like, she's spreading genuinely false information because she's not understanding Nick's jokes. This shit's hilarious. Her video's ass. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to upload more frequently to this channel. I don't really know what to do with it, and we still have a lot to improve. Obviously, it's my first time doing this. Like, comment, subscribe, and see ya, bitches! Also, follow me on Twitter